Hi there, my name's Jerica, and I'm the butcher down here at the butcher shop in the south end of Boston. And today I just want to walk you through a couple ways to break down a duck. Buying animals whole like this is a great way to save yourself some money and to ensure that you're going to end up with the final product that you want. So whenever you're going to butcher something, you always want to start with the end in mind. In today's case, I'm going to show you two ways to break down the duck. We're going to remove one breast and remove the leg and thigh on one side. And on the other side of the duck, we're going to keep the breast and the leg and thigh all attached. So you end up with a half duck that you can then apply in so many different ways. You could cure it, confit it, roast it. So I'm just going to show you those two applications. And to get started, when buying a duck, you want to look for a nice, firm, completely cold, beautiful duck. Hopefully when you buy it, you're going to get the neck and a nice bag of the organs inside that you're going to hopefully use up to make some nice charcuterie or a pate or terrine, something like that. So there's your liver and your gizzard and your heart. Definitely save that. Those are the goodie bits. And the neck, roast this up, makes a beautiful, beautiful duck stock with the rest of the bones when you're done. So to begin, we have all of this beautiful neck fat up here that I'm going to come in and just trim back. You can see in here there's all of these glands that you definitely don't want to end up cooking and eating. They're not going to taste very good, and the texture is pretty gross as well. So get that removed. And then we're going to start by removing the breast on this side. So the anatomy of a duck is similar to every other bird. You have the two breasts, and down the center is this keel bone. A duck has a really wide and shallow breastplate as opposed to a chicken that's a little more rounded. So to come in, you find the keel bone, and you want to angle your knife into the keel bone and make a nice straight incision all the way back and curve your knife when you reach the end of the keel bone, which is right here. So that's one clean cut. Come back through, follow that incision just to make sure that you're totally down onto the breastplate. And you can see we've done that. So you have this little lip right here, which is the keel, and here's the breastplate. And we're just going to start working this meat back off the natural separation where the muscle meets the bone. So easily working your knife back, keeping all that meat intact. You're going to make nice, even, smooth incisions with your knife. At this point, we've reached the joint down here where the wing comes into the neck, and keeping the breast intact, we're going to come down on top of that joint. So a duck is a pretty fatty bird because it's doing a lot of time floating in the water. So luckily, it's going to give you this natural roadmap where the fat comes in right here and makes this natural separation. It tells you exactly where to put your knife. Come right in through that fat and pull back, and then follow the fat line down all the way down to that wing joint and make your final cut, and you've removed your breast. So at this point, you just want to clean up some of this fat around the outside, so you're going to make a nice, beautiful, rounded duck breast. And there you go. So you can score that up and sear it off and make a beautiful little duck breast. So now we're going to come in and we want to remove the leg and the thigh. To do that, I like to grab onto the rib cage right here. With a duck, it's a really sharp, curved rib cage. You're going to come in and just pop out that thigh joint, like so. And then you're going to take your knife and come in behind where the wing is and make an incision right here. On the back of the duck, there's these two little beautiful pockets of meat. We call the oysters. They're the little tender money bits. You definitely want to get those out. So come in with your knife and carefully scoop out that meat right there. So at this point, we're at the thigh joint. There's a little bit of cartilage that you want to come through right here. And once you've gotten through that, you can actually just make sure you come all the way through it. And then you can just pull back, and it'll naturally come off for you. So there we go. We got our thigh and our leg on one side and the breast. And now on the other side of the duck, we're going to keep all these parts intact. So to do that, I like to start at the wing. And we're going to clip off this midsection and wingtip. So come in between the drumette and the midsection, make an incision, pop the joint, and finish the cut. So just like we did on the other side, the first step is going to be to come down onto the keel at that angle and make a nice straight long incision. Follow it back again. Use your hand, get in there, pull the meat back, expose that breastplate, and start working the flesh back off that bone again. The big difference with this application, or this technique rather, is that we're going to leave this little drumette attached, and we're going to come in between this joint, the wing joint where it connects to the neck here. And we're going to go through all those tendons, get in between the joint, and once you're in there, you want to come back up underneath it. So you can see the actual thigh and leg aren't really attached by anything except this thin membrane, and you can just work through that with your hands. And you're exposing the half duck like that. There's a little bone down here that you're just gonna come under, and then just like we did on the other side when we wanted to remove that thigh and leg, we're gonna pop that joint out. And then you're just following the natural line of the duck on the backbone here, keeping all that flesh attached, keeping your knife angled into the bone so that you're saving all of that meat. You're gonna work it back, expose that joint, and come down through it, and just cut through the remaining fat, and there you go. You have your half duck. Clean it up a little bit. And at this point, what we like to do is give it a nice salt cure and then confit it, and you end up with a beautiful crispy duck.